Okay, so this is our lesson for dividing integers, making sure that they are positives and negatives. But our book would be page 53, where we get introduced. We go through some examples. But before we do that, I would like to, that is the wrong one, make sure that we know the major things that we need to learn. Dividing fractions, or dividing integers. This is just like multiplying integers. When you have a negative times a positive, it becomes a negative. If you have a positive times a negative, it becomes a negative. But if you have a positive times a positive, it's positive. A negative times a negative, it's a positive. So it's the same as that, which means a negative divided by a positive is a negative. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. And a positive divided by a positive is a positive, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So it's exactly the same rules. So let's go to our books and see what it says about division. So you'll notice this is a negative divided by a positive, so that means our answer will be negative. We're going to do the try it, assuming my computer will see this. Let's see. Well, it's not showing the try it. So let's go out and back in. There it goes. Now we have most of it. Try it. Suppose the machine drilled the same distance into the ground for 3 days and reached water at 84 feet below ground. What was the change in the location of the hole by each day? So that's a situation where they have 84 negative, and they have to make three, well, that's not three even groups, but we would pretend three even groups. So we need to split it up by 3. So that'd be negative 84 divided by 3 equals question mark. So each day the location of the bottom of the hole changed by blank feet or decreased by blank feet. So I like how the book is doing 3 times what? Because some students need to know that. Some students will just go off to the side and do 84 divided by 3, while 8 divided by 3 goes into it 2 times. So I divided 8 divided by 3, multiply 3 times 2 is 6, subtract, bring it on down, bring it back. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. So therefore it comes out even. The key is remembering that you need to put that negative. So negative 28. No, 3 times, making sure that I'm right. Yep. So we're going to fill in all these blanks. I'm not sure what your circles say, but negative 84 divided by 3 is negative 28. So each day the location of the bottom of the hole changed by 28 feet or decreased by 28 feet. So division works the same. You just have to make sure that you remember those rules. So this one is dividing them with the same sign. Look, if you divide by the same sign, you end up with a positive. If you divide by the same sign, you end up with a positive. So we're going to try it. Negative 40 divided by negative 5, well, that's just the same as 40 divided by 5 is 8, and it will remain positive because they are both negative. This is 40 divided by negative, so that's a positive divided by a negative means my answer will be negative 8. This one is 0 divided by negative 40. Well, 0 has no sign, so the answer to that one is 0. All right, so this one is just division written as a fraction. So they're going to do that with putting, and we've covered this before, the top number divided by the bottom number. They did that every single time. So the bottom the bottom and the top. So it's the numerator divided by the denominator. But you're supposed to be focusing on the fact that this is, the negative is on the outside, so we deal with it last. This is basically just saying negative a number. This one, there's one negative and a positive. This one, there's a positive and a negative. The difference with this one is because it has that negative on the outside of the parentheses, you have to apply it at the end. So I'm going to do 55 divided by 11 is 5, and it's positive. This one, because it's in the parentheses, I'm going to do 55 divided by 11 in the parentheses, and I get the 5, and then apply the opposite of. I'm going to switch colors. So this number would be negative 55, no parentheses, divided by 11 equals negative 5. Orange. This one would be a negative 55 divided by a negative 11, which will end up being a positive 5 because there are two negatives. A different color, this one. That's a positive 55 divided by a negative 11, so my answer will then be negative. And let's see the last one. This one has it on the outside of negative 55 divided by negative 11. So I'm going to solve inside of the parentheses first. Negative 55 divided by negative 11. As you can tell, we did that here. So the answer to that one inside of the parentheses is positive 5. But then I have to apply the negative at the end because it's on the outside of the parentheses. So my final answer for that one is negative 5. So again, the big focus is making sure that we know that if they're the same, the quotient is positive. If they are different, the quotient is negative. We're going to try, you guys are going to come back and do the do you understand, do you know how?